The UK government on the 4th of April 2024 published new laws on the Gov.uk website titled New Laws to Cut Migration and Put British Workers First in Force. According to them, changes that are now in force will slash migration and prevent the undercutting of British workers by employers looking to recruit cheap labour from overseas, as it states. The new laws are more favourable for British citizens and disfavourable for migrant workers in the UK. In these new laws, the UK government has officially announced everything to be done in the favour of British citizens. They also announced an increased salary for any lucky overseas worker recruited as a sort of compensation. But are these rules fair? Let's now tell you everything the UK government published on the 4th of April about the new immigration laws. But before we get to this, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell to always be notified when we publish new updates. So without any further delay, let's begin. According to the UK immigration websites, the latest release from the UK Home Office states that UK businesses are now required to pay overseas workers coming to the UK on a skilled worker visa significantly more, as the government clamps down on cut-price foreign labour and continues to deliver on its commitment to drive down net migration. This means overseas workers may now be paid more than before. Seems like it's a way to compensate them since their numbers have been cut drastically. Let's continue and see. Part of a robust and fair package of measures announced by the Home Secretary in December, which will mean 300,000 people who arrived in the UK last year would now not be able to cut. The general salary threshold for those arriving in the UK on a skilled worker visa has now increased by 48%, from £26,200 to £38,700. I'm sure this point is no longer news, but they are explaining that this increase will help ensure the UK's immigration system focuses on recruiting high-skilled workers, helping to grow the UK economy while bringing overall numbers down. Let's proceed. The government is clear that no sector should be permanently reliant on immigration, so today, the shortage occupation list has also been abolished, with employers no longer able to pay migrants less than UK workers in shortage occupations. A new immigration salary list (ISL) has been created, following advice from the Expert and Independent Migration Advisory Committee (MAC). Roles on the list will only be included where they are skilled and in shortage, and if it is sensible to include them considering the efforts being made by sectors to invest in the resident workforce. Inclusion on the list must not serve to reduce pay and undermine the recruitment of British workers. Employers are encouraged to invest in training, upskilling, and hiring domestic workers first. It comes as the government takes decisive action to support British people into work, in one of the biggest employment interventions in a generation, through its £2.5 billion Back to Work plan. This will help break down barriers to work for over 1 million people who are long-term unemployed, long-term sick, or disabled. Overseas workers have to be careful because the government clearly doesn't need them that much, as they don't want any sector to be dependent on them again, and they want British people to have jobs first before any other overseas person. So if you are searching for a job in UK now, and there's a UK citizen competitor, you should just forget about that job. Home Secretary James cleverly said, "It's time to turn off the taps and end the flow of cheap workers from abroad. Mass migration is unsustainable and it's simply not fair. It undercuts the wages of hard-working people who are just trying to make ends meet. We are refocusing our immigration system to prioritise the brightest and best who have the skills our economy needs, while reducing overall numbers. I promise the British people an immigration system that serves their interests, and to bring numbers down, these tough measures deliver on that commitment. Employers must also play their part and put British workers first." The government has put in place an accelerated and comprehensive programme of reforms to address unsustainable numbers of legal arrivals in the UK. Last month, reforms to restrict care workers from bringing family members came into force. An estimated 120,000 dependents accompanied 100,000 workers on the route in the year ending September 2023, who would now not be able to come. Care providers are also now required to register with the Care Quality Commission, the industry regulator, if they are sponsoring migrant care workers. This follows clear evidence that care workers have been offered visas under false pretenses, having been recruited for jobs that don't exist or being paid far below the minimum wage required for their work. The Home Secretary has also commissioned a review of the graduate route for international students to prevent abuse, protect the integrity and quality of UK higher education, and ensure it works in the best interests of the UK. The Migration Advisory Committee MAC will review the demand for the graduate route, through which a total of 213,250 visas have been granted since it was established, to ensure it is fit for purpose and focused on attracting the best and brightest to the UK. This follows concerns raised after analysis by the MAC revealed that the number of international postgraduate students attending institutions with the lowest UCAS entry requirements has increased by over 250% between 2018 and 2022. It is expected to report later this year. On 11th April, the first step in an incremental increase to the minimum income required for family visas will come into force. By early 2025, this will have reached £38,700, helping to ensure dependents brought to the UK are supported financially. The government's plan to tackle illegal migration is also working, with small boat crossings down by around a third last year. So now, you've seen all the new reforms yourself from the UK government website published on the 4th of April and effective from the 11th of April. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more updates on UK visas and immigration.